Namo Sangha Ayo Kande Laje Gwenje Doga Raga Zoza Bumbe Shunze Sheje Yang Gwenje Losanja Seda Jebo Nede Sheso Genje Nanga Sende Lama Jebe Zong Galo Debe Sena Shinjon Do Dembo Jeje Geja Shuso Sheje Chungun Jebe Loje Do Kesa Chabe Beje Lamen Zebe Go Tonde Jembe Dende Laja Yewo Chuyun Nazo Mendo Da Jishen Dobe Langsen Jeja Weisha Yizhi Chujin Yazo Sena Shinzho Jela Sheba Kaji Tongmen Dune Saba Ye Lunga Yiso Mige Jishe Kewaran Domba Samje Medun Cho Yine Yuwa Sozo Sha Yingmen Dune Mandun Zhula Sheje Wangbe Tenjo Deye Je Gongbo Sheje Daja Sanban Dabe Yirang Chizi Lama Damba Tena Chogu Kala Tinzi Jinti Ne Chida Sabje Sheje Chaba Abduz Namda Yuze Yingle Shenba Sonjo Gola Chado Mingaya Tame Nango Sugu Ran Sede Mado Mino Demba Jo Dazo Chini Sabe Gewa Denda Rowa Pula Kangben Da Kebala Jizu Losanja Tembe Ningbo Rendo Seje Sho Mime Zebe Dejen Jen Chime Kembe Wangbo Jambe Yang Debo Malue Kanjin Kebe Zujin Zonga Losa Tabe Shala So Mime Zebe Dejen Jenre Chime Kembe Wangbo Jambe Debo Malue Zongze Sanbe Kanjin Kebe Zujin Losa Tabe Shala So Wande Mime Zebe Dejen Jenre Chime Kembe Wangbo Jambe Yang Debo Malue Zongze San Kanjin Kebe Zujin Zonga Losa So Wande Banden Zabe Lama Rinpo Je Dazo Jiuro Bende Tenjo Gaden Chimbe Wane Cheso Gozon Toji Ngoju Zedo Se Banden Zabe Lama Rinpo Dazo Ningara Beme Tenjo La Gaden Chimbe Choda Kemo Ngoju Zedo Se Banden Zabe Lama Rinpo Dazo Ningara Beme Tenjo La Gaden Chimbe Wane Shangju Ningbu Bado Denbara Yu Masan Jume Shera Paru Je Maje Manga Namge Mo Sozo Rari Yije Juyu Tuzon Gewe Yumla Chaze Lo Deyan Ta Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Bodeye Soha Deyan Ta Gade Gade Bara Sangade Bodeye Soha Deyan Ta Gade Gade Bara Sang Bodeye Soha Gere Tongda Jajo Shewa Da Mede Nebe Gendan Jek Tenban Roje Kuzon Sojo Ne Rashi Jo Yo So Jebe Jo I want to remind every one of ourselves to take a moment and cultivate bodhicitta motivation, which is the highest form of motivation, seeking complete enlightenment for the benefit of all other sentient beings. And with that kind of at least contrived bodhicitta motivation, we should participate in this bodhisattva discourse.
Where
we left off in this bodhisattva guide or bodhisattva chat avatar, we talked about, and we will talk a little bit more about the importance of ability to have control over our body and mind.
ene because zonju leva me was ni ga simdo kene ne karsa simdo yembu go ne ene ka zonju jiwa de o diga ngama diga de tema shene ane ka nyumo bo la na la darta jusa nyumo data da ene tunje juya de peyo da diga da ne diga da ni ene kenye ga sabon do da ni ene kaji de kaji yena tele ya be jono de me wa shene kaji do shem joguris o diga.
We are on page 100 and stanza 75 reads, in order to have strength for everything, I should recall before undertaking any action the advice in the chapter on conscientiousness, Parye, and then joyfully rise to the task, unquote. So as Geshe explained, that for us to succeed in Bodhisattva actions or practices, it is very important for us to bring joy into our practice and actions. In other words, we should cultivate strong joyfulness, jindu, enthusiasm, and to be able to do that, as the stanza states, that we should recall to our mind, some of the important things we already talked about, with regard to developing conscientiousness or carefulness or vigilance. These are the translations I used for the same Tibetan word, Parye. And also on mindfulness. And so as we face any challenges and difficulties, we should not let these challenges to dishearten us, to undermine us. Rather, we should be able to withstand, bear these difficulties and challenges, and boost up our spirit or the courage. Yes, I can engage in the Bodhisattva actions, and I can do that joyfully. So that's something important to reflect upon. As we already talked about in some other chapters, that our real enemy is within us. It is the enemy of afflictive emotions or kleshas, delusions, nyönmong in Tibetan. And so we have to have a mindfulness, introspection, conscientiousness to be able to confront and manage and overcome, get rid of afflictive emotions. On the other hand, we also need to develop, how should I say, our abilities to be able to improve the favorable conditions and the things that could facilitate our practice. And so the bottom line is this, that we should kind of engage in this cost-benefit analysis, K Nyen. K is the benefit and Nyen is the risk. And so if we reflect on the benefits of engaging in Bodhisattva actions, cultivating joyfulness in actions, and we reflect on the demerits or the disadvantages of being under the influence of afflictive emotions or and so forth, then we will be able to master within ourselves the courage, the joyfulness to be able to pursue Bodhisattva actions and paths.
Bever Shane, so don't you shit the Shana, Shida Long, Shida Long Pandro, Suru, Sing Bill, Sing Billum, Reverse young over now, such check around your ship teaching to give us our simple but shook. Wrong goes on the own jury new base, laser on Shakode. Tedachina, ne? She some Tetan, Luga Yisum J, gave a Hana, Hansama Tetam. You're the touching there, there are the Ruban Joe. No, Tetan, ne, he saw Japers, Zuru, Tetan. Nyangda jor ye des o da dinama on jurdor kharse direse zurza ni en semla on jurdor khare jogresena ni hingber rebe do sa yangbo tso de en lagba khaba jana lagba shal jana ni pa jo de khaje lagba chung중 ro khaje jana ko labe langsa khalo jya le lo de kange ta yo maro o dise orda 연 주고 싶어도 나야 라바잖아야 가지고 봐서 좀 얘기하러 다 신비해서 뒤 양반들이다 라바때 저는 컴파이저는 파도 시켜지로 배 시작 그래서 언주서 왔어요 뒤는 존재상 야고 세상에서는 인생의 배 가왔다는 계획이가 가왔다는 람사배 성을 커와서 카드를 배 오르나 실대와 나시 주도다 뭐 되게 샤그리스 어디서 top ene zonjang guris odisi waro sheta dipet dedo sheta bezo shembo se gugo mar kanje kaze shingbe de wori yangbo de laba shungjo jana pa kiru chi jana si ku kwal bige pa khala gyal kangi de za me ba lela bu to ni gyra jero o tena yi zonju bige lela de pa chomne on gyurta ba shagoris odisi wada gani.
The concluding stanza of the chapter, that is 76, reads, just as the wild wind blowing back and forth controls the movement of a piece of cotton, so shall I be controlled by joy, and in this way accomplish everything, unquote. So as Geshe explained, that we would like to develop our ability to be able to control our body and mind, so that we're able to use them, right, to accomplish our goals, and cultivating and enhancing joyfulness, jundu, enthusiasm, is essential part of that, to be able to have control over our body and mind. The example given here to demonstrate this point is, even a small amount of wind can easily carry a piece of cotton in whichever direction it wants to bring to. It could be the east, as Geshe said, or somewhere else. If something is very heavy and rock solid, a wind cannot lift it off and move it in its direction, whereas a piece of cotton is so light that it can easily be lifted and moved in the right direction. So in the same way, if we are able to cultivate joyfulness in our virtuous practice and actions, as the joyfulness gains its strength, then we find it's really easy to be able to sit in our practice and do our practice physically and mentally. It wouldn't be very challenging, and let's say if we have developed the joyfulness to an extent that once we decide to focus on any particular virtue or practice, keva, our mind is going to sit on it very firmly. And so we're able to easily direct our mind to whatever our focus is. So that is the strength or the benefit of joyfulness, where our body and mind have become, so to speak, supple and flexible, and that we are able to use them in the manner that we would like to use it. just like a wind can take a piece of cotton in whatever way it wants to take. In the same way, joyfulness will help us to be able to use our body and mind to be able to sit in our practice, whatever that practice is, joyfully.
What is Karsa? Shares Yella say, young 60 time Name Liu on you. On you, she on you, the Zuri the 60 Shimes, Sim on the Zundu in she, Sheva Nango. Teta Pongshi the top Shilla, Dennis. Zundu Kung will, Kundi Bill Shibi, Top did the Nam. Shar Kayang, Nayang Dodu Merui, Chinese Bay Gode, Lobon Pose, Kaji Lenova Jipper, Koman Niga Metapche, Tile Nila Masipa, Cheki Zunu Labas, She Song Sos, or the Tata Sholoka news or the day I see or the Sholoka, but don't be Patoju. Sheva Jada Chek, she loves not degrees. Yama CJ Chek Leo the Juzida, CJ Shema, some of the judiciary, some the Leo Judu Soda Jana, the case Kayomari Siward, Takaji, Tache Kayomari, or Teres, or distribution of Kayomaristi, Tati Lobo, the Kaji Shuga, Judo Kares, and this order. Shakaya until pay Naya Kange to Kaji. Tell about Dongle Majabe, pay Shubajiado, Sineshiado, and Dumar, yes, or the middle of Judea is a long pose to do. Kaji Lene, Majibar, Kombanika Metap Chase, Tele, Nila, Masipara, Chase Zunu Yandapel, Yesom Sauce, or Dere, Karsa, Long Pose, Chosusim Jose at the IJ. Kaji led my Kaji Kama, Kalema Jana Sigaro, and Koma Tabasanji, Koma Tokmari Sigri. So that is near Masibas. So the Kangan of Kazi and the Telepan Zima Mashi Bashiba. Take years, don't do young Dapel, here song sauce. The Saga Benja de Karsa. The Cable over the dogs, the other came is Sergio, or did she? Conje, so don't sound big. Lobjo machine and the Tato the time Maji Keva Yamara. She the Kali and the Kali, the Kali Dibuyo in the Telia. This some Tashi, any kind of donation, Della, 7 young machine, any touch of my shepherds. Conje, Chawachi, the Goma, what them the shade. Juma Juna in Tibet, so Shawakars in the Jews, they got to catch the bed, Congo use or hit a shout or the Deji, and the Shibaji do lays at the shower, which is this of sugar silver. Some Sunday, Tomoko Tosa River told about the taxi in the telejokes and the shidden of budgets, don't let she young sugar is. What is it?
As Geshe read from the commentary and explained that we talked about this already before, Bodhisattvas in the beginning, they take time to think about, examine and investigate whether or not they should engage in a particular action or not. Is it something they can do it or not? Once they decide, they commit themselves to whatever that action or that task is, then they do not drop the ball in the middle of the things. They make sure that they complete that action. Because starting a task and leaving it unfinished will have a detrimental karmic effect over many lifetimes, as we talked about. If we get into the habit of starting one, not finishing it, starting another one, it's like that, then we get habituated in that karmic pattern that over many lifetimes we end up repeating the same thing, and then we will not be able to have success in anything we will do, because as we talked about, one of the results of the karma is called cheba chudun. Results are according to the past habituated action. If the past habituated action is doing something, not completing it, that's what's going to bite us, right, in many lifetimes. So we don't want to be in that habit. So Bodhisattvas know in the beginning, right, they want to examine, take their time, don't feel obligated to start at anything. Once they know, yes, they can do it, they commit themselves, then they make sure that they do it completely. And they do it completely joyfully, in other words. Whatever challenges they confront, they never give up. They never feel discouraged and disheartened. So that's the lesson, right, we are learning from Bodhisattva's way of life. As the great Indian master Loben Pao, Acharya Vira, said that, it's impossible to attain any state of realization without going through challenges or difficulties, In other words, that we are seeking Buddhahood, enlightenment. Buddhahood can never be attained without going through challenges or difficulties. That's just impossible. So therefore, Acharya Vira tells us that we should buckle up and say, I'm going to face off any challenges, because feeling disheartened is never going to lead me anywhere. I just had to put up with them, okay? And as I confront them, I also develop my ability and able to bring up my joyfulness to be able to confront them, so that there is the way to success, to fulfill our goal. Great Sakya Pandita is believed to have said, this is in the context of becoming an expert. If you want to be an expert, while you are studying for it, you are going to go through pain. Well, it's going to be difficult. And if you want an easy and comfortable life, you will never be an expert, unquote. So Sakya Pandita said, if you want to be an expert, you have to be willing to go through the hardships. But if you don't want the hardships, then you will never be expert. Forget it. Okay? So it's the same thing here too, right? So as Geshe said, that as we think about the incredible results that will come from pursuing, Dharma practice or Bodhisattva actions, so it's worthwhile to be able to confront any kind of difficulties, isn't it? Because by facing off and bearing those difficulties, we are able to accomplish great results, isn't it? So look at the results. Is that what you want? Well, that requires us to be able to develop courage and face off difficulties.
Hyuksin Mendobe, Ju Tebe Pongdang, Le Telas, Jubana, Chojubarsa, Mendojing, Mengumbaras, Juba, Goya Pongdes, Tenam, Jajing, Toya Pongla, Denes, Zumlu Las, Kebar Shahing, Tio, this Bangja Mus Boy, Nimbo Zundu, Hulang Base, Dobjebala, Juba Shawa, Shawa Tela, Dene, Lusum Lesuron Shavis, Tap on Jure, Dobji, Hing di Lusum, Dobjing. Ti Lusum Leso Murung is a Tena Tamji Dones, Jesi Chaval, Mobar Toy, Sujuji, Lusum La Onjona, Rang Ngang, Beva Beva, Gava Jubis, Soju Liber, Jela. Tijana Tena Sotamji, Dala do Zone, Yonde Chavaji Tabanjua, Yenos. Odemra, Otis Sundus Gaden Teres that under the cause that on you Tosia, the Ode Teres, the Carsena, Tata Dodina, did you little somos lelo dirwa karsa gilu lelo shumbi lelo chawangi lo sumirwa da gilu wasna pa sangjang na jang zhe shi to jaya de shi chawangi yesna chong de xingle la so de dinang ge be chawal be shukshi mo ju chawangi xin shi ta shumbi lelo sena tere ro da ge jong ma ri sa ro da ka shi sena nga be da 엉버디 원세아도 양아 로거로 셰프세아도 거기가 소소도 규제를 당네 근데 토고 머리서야 돼 쇼빌러시 어디에 다 그러자 지루빙을 신만도지 샤왕이 신 총어서 신하시 쇼빌러시 이 종고 머리서야 돼 어디에 어디 som데 배 파이파네 가네 되시고스다 그래서 조르이 얘기 요소네 랑 님보된데 그 님보된 냠미 어떻게 조주기 와베 미디시도 냠미 된 천지야 조주소야 되는데 뭐바 숙시버신 되야 뭐베 답다 때문에 또 세어디에 튕겨서 도니 거기 계제세와데 튕겨줘신 제체네 샤와 건ጻ베디 가가 타시 마시네디 셔구레스 디지문이다 계셔모레스 도스 뜻이거든요.
So in this chapter, we talk about the need to recognize, identify different types of laziness, and we use joyfulness, jundu, enthusiasm, to counteract laziness. And not only that, we need to generate joyfulness, but we also need to enhance joyfulness. And so the things that we need to get rid of, if you can call them discordant factors, impediments, are the different types of laziness. We talked about 3 of them. There is the laziness of procrastination that always that tells us, well, you can do it later. Tomorrow is the time, right? Another time. And so we never get around doing our practice because laziness of procrastination is, communicating to us, right? Just postpone it. You will do later. Then we have the laziness of what called being attached to, literally translating, frivolous activities or mundane activities, isn't it? And so we always have just figured, okay, first I need to do my, field work. I need to do my business. I need to do these things, right, job. And then I will do my practice. So we get distracted by mundane affairs of things and activities. And this is also considered a form of laziness, being attached to frivolous activities, relatively speaking, and then get distracted from engaging our study and practice of Dharma. Then the other laziness is the laziness of what we call, the belittling or underestimating our own ability, right? Then we use all kinds of justifications. The reason why now I can't do it is I'm really not an intelligent person already. I'm not a bright person. I'm a very nice, simple person, not bright. So then we use that excuse that I cannot do certain kind of practice or study. Or that we use our age as ageism as our justification. Now I'm too old, right? Okay, now it's not. I should have, but I didn't. Now I can't. It's too old. So we have all this, justifications, just basically not to engage in the study and practice, and that's also a form of laziness. So those laziness need to be confronted, identified, and we use joyfulness or chindu to be able to counteract and deal with them. But joyfulness is not just a given thing. It won't come just on its own. We need to generate, cultivate, and enhance it. And this is where we need to create the favorable conditions that help us to be able to generate and enhance joyfulness, chindu. Yeah? And so among the favorable conditions, we already talked about different types of forces or power. Depending on word, pung means forces, top means power, but sometimes it means the same thing. So what are the forces or powers we talked about? Where we feel that, well, I can't do it, I'm old, I'm this, I'm that, well, we really need to boost of the force or the power of our confidence level, ability based, right? Why not? Why can't I? Right? We have to develop that, and so that will help us to generate joyfulness. And we need not only to start our practice, we need to sustain it. Right? To be able to do that, we have to invoke the power of what we call firmness. Right? We examine whether I want to do or I can do this or not. Once we commit ourselves, we have to stay firm in our action or practice. So the power of firmness, tembeto, the force of firmness, stability is important to sustain our practice. Then we also need, the joyfulness, the power of joy, kavedo, right? To be able to complete our action. We don't want to start it off and then somewhere we will stop it, right? We want to continue our action or the practice and bring it to completion, and for that we need to boost up our force or the power of joy, kavedo. And then, of course, right, as we're confronting all of those things, there could be time or situations where we need to use the power of letting go or rest, isn't it? And as Geshe already explained before, this is in the footnote, he did not repeat here, that sometimes we know we are exhausted, okay? It doesn't matter what you want to do or not, so we need to, refresh ourselves. And sometimes we have reached certain level, we don't want to get stuck in that. So we have to let go of that so that we can advance to the next level, right? This is what we call the power of, letting go, dorbeto, or delbeto, the power of rest, right? So we need to, cultivate these forces of the powers, which will help us to be able to generate and enhance joyfulness or tsundu. And so the bottom line is this. In any kind of action or practice, right, there are two things we keep our mind on. We have to get rid of the unfavorable obstacles and conditions, Gaden self, right? Get rid of the things that wouldn't allow us to be able to do our practice or that becomes impediments. And on the other hand, Tenzin Dorjee, we have to create those favorable conditions that will help us to be able to do our practice, isn't it? Get rid of the unfavorable conditions, obstacles, all that impediments, and create the favorable conditions so that we can continue our action or practice.
This was in the Zunri cage or is what the Yundemo Zunri said, what the Geshe said. What is it? That in it, that did Zuzoi, that Niba Liu said, Shonju, Shonju, Jubal, Zuri W. Dubasa. So there's this Zunri zombie, two Dobina, Zunri W. Deads, Dumba was. She was did that, Zunri Hesa instead of the Tirimja. She thought Zunri Kesha at the Tirisha. This is the Tatin, this will that was also in Sunday level, Sunday level in the Tombo, the Zunju Korazawa's Liu Jeva did some Zunju Zawa, the Malong Duanis.
So if we cultivate joyfulness and are able to, have the joyfulness Tsundu as described in the literature, from then on it becomes really easy to be able to accumulate merit and wisdom and being able to accomplish all kind of qualities, because all of those things are connected to, related to the joyfulness or tsundu. As is stated elsewhere, yundem malu tsundu chedushin. All the realization qualities, they follow up with the joyfulness, isn't it? If we have the joyfulness, then what that yields to or leads to our accomplishing all kinds of qualities, including realizations. So with that, we bring this chapter to the end. In the Tibetan text, of course, the title of the chapter is always appear at the end of the chapter. So this is the chapter on Bodhisattva's perfection of joyfulness, it is called. So this is chapter 7. Now the next chapter is chapter 8, is on the perfection of concentration or samadhi. Of course, in this English translation, they said meditation, but I'll stick with concentration, and because usually we use the meditation for Gom Tibetan, right, not for the something. So I use the perfection of concentration, and so before we start off this chapter, Kishala would like to give us the oral transmission of the root text, text on this particular chapter, samadhi or concentration. No. So here I'm giving you the oral transmission.
Number Yingbe me nyumu chewe cha ni nyumu chewe cha ni liu dong sen ni we enbai number yin mi zhong ti ji de bang sha xin jia number de bo yu de sha ge bi xie de ni so si be ji de me bon de da yong bon la ke we de de xie ba sha ki ne ra de de la dong Nyumu nama jomba xie ne tongmara ne xie ne se sha de yang jik den sha ba me la ngon ge zhou me da sui xie me da lo yang da sha ba la xie ba天ne sai ra ngon zai ra dong zha de du ba tong yang men ju ma dong ba ne ka ra men ju yi jing yang nyam xiu men ju 同样我们民族也我现是为动物就新鲜那老少些呢，让他你老姑娘你姑娘这，教育什么讲就不是些他妈娘的动物就说的老什么把些，前头头面到我做大把没变找细节，用中学讲学吧就是。 其他给我娘就那也不是严重，这就是这给没娘把没把这些那样七八点把这些我都是七八点别些也是给这些人在就是了，遇到现在这样就是搞别的了我说是，所以就我给我搞没这个这我偏不让没能说完些，大家偏里面多吧。 他的到我年嘛年那我出去，你说这我就是这套了，这都养成这，嘛这都这个因为现在控制这，那么些个写的偏不多，写的中的写吧啦，那都现在没把它考各位。他们老说，都老说没给几样，你把人中的大现的嘛。 听的朋友就话写听到东嘛些了，我大家听到民族写了他人说话啥，听那个故事的这些年的民族啊，他们是他们把什么来把说朋友们都张自己就有同怎么让人呢？ 我去马东县，我去马东县这把没不然的我在大年，你们过的节大了忙不搞些，天这个你不相信，写我的几把节的那不然忙不也看到少，就把我这的东西，就给你就行当就是行当的，去把下面少不了你们几把节。 de da ron yin do ron jiro ye temba je de rab de to nye ba da ne mong shu shi ba cha da nye ba shung shi re de ba nye da cha be so she khang dun de be de me do tel me do da lo mu lo 다 뭐가 신이나 또 때베가 때베다 그러지 다라 때바 신이나 메베베가지 요 심지 뭐가 나서 뭐 제장님의 미리 민구나 당장 예배 뭐제 그 대지된 삼바당 심지가 메라 메니 라 메니 저라 신도 거대다 기고 제들저 거제 시바랑도네 메바고 민주 시바가야 시미시 디시 시바난 제소 나나 레다 샤노다 신노 메니 제메제 도나 데와 데다다 나시 린시다니 다네 저로 푸고 라고 동밤 정신 정되네 제도 나시 잡되면 나시 잡되면 답변 사바메 봐주고 사조 다게 송아메 바랑시 제네 용한 용시 제네 용 남서 라고 저제 사가메 나시 다네 네바 저 농세 알아서 니세다 그나 미고 거장시 련데 바마시 장 징에메 네바 나시 저 저저서 네다 그거 다다 다글려 지비셔다 네네 나시 고저 쉐바 다글려네 대니장 가게 티 와타장 총디 년저 문제와 대답은 저와 올려데 저부를 좀 현지계 집에 샤르다 제 식디 소스를 제주나 자와 신다 시주 뭐 걔네 집에 제주신 신나 제 디시 시대 동에 계시면은现在是啥个这些啥老大的呢？是吧？其他呢，这些带的也是为了是吧？这那种样子这的个呢东西的是就是提了这个马的吧，这是对呢，那是从西面看吧，面是连的这个不影响的俺呢。现在这那现在我娘人是吧？没有冲动，会不随他讲。娘人那把些没问题，也上街这说虽然也完就没有特别现在当个那这抽象的记性，因为他们些话，但你就那把说上报钱的，过得大了什么就不也什么呢？现在娘把这下些当多下些跳下些什么就里面的把这，对那呢碰着就那你谁当正常说跑着的呢鸟着，跑鸟模样看起来对么说的就的把那么上。场面上看个东的怎么看个东的满身板。几把那呀大修行，再讲三把些就这个看老用所区别呢，晓得个就太大呢，今日你先面那让他呢大面了，绕对就有些呢这两个人这两个他们着，考试他们别的长江我最后就到。我呢，通马通样，快捷到呢，要不然就去牛门别动，丢动他呢，他让我送去吧。下个几十些多年的些多年。他这把些现在每个给当然也可以用是送去哇，谢谢的那的三那件就去没说，下一碰不的东西的下过先啥下过， 唐心三心呢，心结写了没多给，身结写了没多给，指望真的结束。如果你对我同人的民国样呢，就这那着了，心的干一下，就把觉得几名这看了要讲。得下吧，对要那年纪面对得了个把面的呢，要把那些就3年就不你里面那些相当上都考虑中去。天来想了每个新人想不是考虑就是这个性别，就是那想把一年那个没些把这样子把满。天天没走了梦，天天眼把梦把那性别人那想把了。你我想我们那些得了朝我到的些开的没装下面呢，如是具备只完了下人他们这些东西是帮的就先就这是帮的。去年没上忙也把第二老就是等究竟，没上计划先到了，没上干边对吧？些当年想的那个些这个当人到完都难过，身边把也让新接这些接下来那个全国企业面对什么刚也把。人到我们的老康熙个女的先把门的对面去的谢谢消息，没啥人也心里没得我，啥人没这些没这些，让你没啥你也把刀把人们就是我啥些真正认识的这些，白马兄弟帮的呢，没啥先没什几年，没啥张色的我这是个，写了这是个。啥叫没上结果吧？开的这个不是没得到，看来的你们说有留了吧？现在就是开的没上下面那没上，现在就是行，第三步的结吧，先就是这帮就没上来，说没上心。穷光全都没些了，没上忙不上心里没上结巴我对不上心，全能让你没上了全没些不了，马上就没上结巴没上了，刚没先用都不上心，靠不老是有当真，现他跟我催忙我容。可就是说破了我也啥样没上上不了。开的没上得着啊！我说就叫特殊呢，头他都跑的路，没上先要大街大瓦街康来把别些看些那么这个什么研究啊？现在现在的年了，吃香高啊，结完就绿了过于吃的要真的所以些。现在真的是大了，几千那上班些，给的让些正好运的了，马上是面呐。今天他们洗把澡洗的天了，执行过，我的执行真的那流浪的那些人，现在这也现大了，几千那上班。开的这些人话的所家之间，他们这个别理解让些些把你让了那别这些成为现在的重新的，别的这些都是大了，们别把也娘别上头滚的走。如果把些同年龄对这对那也中那我有空就下个别冲个这那个，在他们上，确实的用啊，这个人没把你们也多，这种这别下当也你完了，你了说别那么就是西边那边美女别。他那把你也说的你的几的多说吧也是中了， Gaden的被这一上等天眼把科学的年人来就用头的。kim jong ni che lu ro da wa da wa ni ya wa she ka ji ji she du ni mo ren de son we do nge be je pe me de si me pe me chu go le jang tong me ju da la pe nu ma nam mo be kong an tong ni de zu zong ba yang te ma ta ba tong me be xian ye le je long ge de la rang ge le tong ye 아메 현주 거저데 소마타 저 표시는 힘주 공바 파바 용 공바 파바 준 데베 베르베 렘바다 촌디 소아샤오시소아샤데 소도로 도시 유두 조테지全都着是提开始，全都着是等的来旅行节开始赛在了走，开始东他给你开始赛把大家那啥当我送到那边蹦，东啊也弄你蹦着他也写不上，我那下边用我就把那西边东来这个干没多。de la de la so ye me kan la mong la lo no xiong de xing da zhen bei shou da ge zan ne kam ga sui ba xin na ye shou ji ge zhou na wa me gong bei no xiong kan ye ti dong de tian zhe ro pen de ni ge le ge na wa nam ji zhong de ba nian ba ra ji ju ri xie ye so nya la so ba lo dong xie ba xian bu men ji这个的特别就是我看一把，天也七月下这吧节，这也节上节年中，冬天上是这吧月冬天写的我小兄妹，你说冬天那什么写的？对吧？那老从当年头当买的洋啥的，然后接着别人。Tibetan对了，就是的，俺们那个接触自动没接动吧。现在那些那个他的跟的都真的，几十月杨别多那康山那个，这没现在闹龙要我也现在别那些小不是。康中心中菩萨的康的谢谢愿念性，用尽生命都眼帮对吧没吧吧，要就让就把没下面了，康的呀呢明天这没吧，熟悉的这是康人吧，俺不讲呢。俺不讲你跟你讲不跟听你讲，得了说别那把也别用的上些呢，那么多年我喜欢，小时候呢光把下大些的两把你，他们也对别的工得到都俺两边，他们这当有送完啥拉巴拉说也我那么样，拉巴拉说也那么样。用什么送些绿色去把大家提醒运着我他的东西，他们这大些对吧？对你们这个的大个东西，这现有绿的没的把我的到东西，他的前面没事也提醒现有东西大了把我大了把我们就是用啊的到东西。大的先别说把嘎大个先就别动哎，是动哎，一些动哎，大都先，大个先的偏把啥，偏把它身边人这大流先看这个大的先一个，对吧？都从把拉大前边去那看这大这个这。康在大的些，你搞东安民的从巴拉大的这个去呢，康这些面大松些给这个的劳动的， 大年没那些吃没送忙把你东个样。你们现在第几送大年天年永阳边难道不知多的老婆的这相信也。叫那些人看这看个东个的听见说。刚别多个老百姓，这些天呢的送上去的日本面样的到处那么就是，我到现没这看人的今年把呢帮下你，觉得错这小娃呢真话嘛，老所些的所些这东西现在的。天然的水用的就是东西大部分把那他们些专门把那东西引起的些，也把的那这个人这些个呢东西呢多把些多把上下也在里面给的多能他就多，他里面大家身上面些有些东西，忙些别些些年纪这些。这东西三千多些，但是那些东西嘛，给的东西是，给的东西这个呢，这个呢东西忙不没见的呢，在那这边东西，让现在接下来天呢，没到大这接不呢，把现在那边大个东西嘛是，忙不东西是就是的，但是就呢。空知道不？可是吧，现在东西些个白面做是吧？俺把它当然那边把因为就把就是现在那个这边那，个月假是可以把第二天那个说明那么他们这边继续上的现在东西讲。老师当然我才没这部先到那个月那边这边人嘛，热没这边现在兄弟，明年来家大，说我提前大了，上升到宁些时呢，宁些时呢都是像恐怕也呢先到给火车给对吧了，我不没法就是呢。到个些年，希望的提前先也来了呀，到这些也是民俗。到六年先到的，下不的高没到呢，去中间先了样。有的就是些年到这用说到了晚上，就新郎哇，你过不着新郎，你过不着些的。老爸老说吧，绿界也老阴的，当然提醒着我也老的，其实绿界那么面对现在当面绿，可没大呢，老兄啊，提醒心情先那样啊，可不然到路前面就得到那里心。现在我在路面就到你这呢，谁呢，连了人我们就现在特别现在。中国那面，你为了家大说我提醒着了我送上的宁先生，可把这体育广播真是这个同学全部着我也考虑是把我这边是让给怎么样啊？亲戚老家里是都没些的这可别推，看个名字就把样啊，第一面那没搞就。美国就开始到现在呢，你说的这个的爸爸的大着些的叫我这上月那爸爸这个，到了看到下半夜这个呢，从了就叫我拧巴就把这绿的了，所以这一档没，绿看这的工作呢，所以小个些的下到伢到知道。是吧？是那些那么些好些看到了，人这些怕他妈呀，随时性工作上就过着个你天天那里面谁就是我看不是有绿的了，这就送到学习间的了是吧？所以这些就到我们是你们是看的新郎记住去。当做是把人把这一做开的，现在先多三吧，他也学到就是先老对吧？ 你现那你娃了，说，你了说不是东西，先知先了的，你先知的了，你现那。普通说吧，他们这都等于头啊，对吧？电影中演的两半句儿，听见了不行呐，点着你忍着头是不的大牛头的先困，大个头的先困呐，吃了啥吧？娘就先就懂得大姐那只不你所有娘就这点点我先你把提供大现在对了说这点东西。这个让人对了从明的些忙的些的这没去过，七八上个对的，同样性对吧？理解七八的大的现在都爱到养到小不，少年一点没说见困难的话没困难的，这点把着学给陈友里面写完上。结果那个没得为，你没得为，才的同样这边就通道嘛，懂得着的这，被朴素的就用普罗性啊，现老东西社会就忙别东西没些连接的他那，才我考虑到这这个东西心里有就把我这个大的那我联系，这些这个大了这个大了这也啥当然有时当马上呢。东亚帮我们那这边现在在那买的嘛，到那西边帮我们那这边这到了你，希望的现在东西现在到你因为现在吧当时，现在到就送我下到你现在俺就是一就俺把些细节了，是不是工作嘛做吧？他的确一些没什么，希望没了做吧也让东这吧没这吧这嘛。没得动，没了说吧也得了，没了说吧也得了，老不着下面，得了心情做下的大你来去动啊，得了的那说说你讲，现大人的偏把它去面说到底些吧当心你对呢，大些呢那么多没为生计说差多这样当那些工。我这工的呢，可是些大的面，这些大个满眼睛的呢，这些大了没得大的东西啦，大呢，现在些话当的呢，的话一对呢，这个皮些的，这啦些当大些大面。用的没法查，用的没这些啥到底用的边的话你考验的没的，考验大学的你的有水这么大我可说你没到也大，就那大那个那说过的，是当时说过的，你把大给就到了。我的大的手下面接着到了你明白，大的用的几年的接上的到用的经营着都被看的完着了，有些没把的吃了用的那么开发大了，我的大娘了对你，看个让你老些吃到给你了过的你这么讲也不。这我现在大概用的呢，今天过了是我叫西安的用的，看看睡觉淘宝特别名就是热啥，大呢中央是帮下些大呢，选举的了没大，定你把零年级，大呢工作的了，因为的呢马龙些把，有人大呢个月大，这我估计些给他们平均没把他们下。你们这样大人大，当俺那边天气的那边真是差。这大腿的现在朋们现在么手手拿着这娘妈妈去，这大过了差我也大个样的那不等啊搞啊这就，年纪了的用手这了你没讲你有讲。开的我也联系人的啦，说话怎么些呢？大概到底的些办公室， Then the Nyamsha Shen, Da Gen, Da Shen, the Da Che, Da Jesh. De Jata Taja, the Koa, Da, Never She, Never Yijo Ramdon, She, Devi. Kawatamin, de Jang, Yawa, Chambo, Tabu, Tetabu. Choi doing Bashi Joe, Tetang, Barashana, Tola, Joe, Sherry Jugida. Tibet Miss Millie, T. Yodin, She, Tonjo, Kadi, Church, what you saw, Lady, She, Barashur, Chunane, Sanji, Phuntsok, Dememba, Demani, Garden, Jumisi, Theatre, Quarter, Tibala, Chedi, Manzi, Shivata, Tian, Shen, Kumara. 先学这多些些那大概率那么是呢，他当第年这些呢就一些了，偏把它就大概些呢这大的些呢，现在没记了，为了大多些呢嘛，我大那边些。前面些大了差不多，前面些大概得到这。现在东了就是那东他了就是看这的那这些，大的种了大把这现在你把些吧呀，然后种的就是去的，大你把穷叫忙了，然后就是现在差不多就让给这差不多谁给弄，大年春节他妈的这不是从那了。过完节的呢，中心上新的萝卜用的钱，没多的用的钱呢，天下没也喜欢的大家，那大个同学是确实现了女是看看女生间，女的生学同学起来大一来呢，别把这的呢人家找。就是谢谢吧，呢没啥的旁边设备最先的。我上这到他们当地下，贴上的那下去，贴上去没啥话，贴上的那昂下的那实际上，我的当家的生育的没些，去年吧过年没去年实际上我那些去有的苦，看那边我就觉得现在。年冬去看，年冬他就看得着，确实吃不惯，熊下他都大了，然后都有呢，什么的吃，的托吃，大概行了。吃中给叫我什么小事，叫我嘛什么小品，吃在旁边叫你吃，什么拿了嘛些拿确实苦鸟啊也。送嘛那了，新的也在这的热大些，苦西没有人多，他呢看他们城市的就也让他什把熊，大呢干的那让老到给俺们到大呢送的，想到的送嘛下去，到现在轮的那个用手种啊西就把到现在。现在今年就是现在今年就是一定就是在这东啊的一样对别嘛对别的把啥的他们这些做吧那吧原来那天对吧水些女面对了女么子三把他们三把两把叫我就是考一个了对面吧第一份做什么体育理解的话，你平时的各个没也晓得，各没也没晓，也平时各也没晓得。康熙用我们这把的那个我把上坡因为他们的他都行啊，没有现在就是没早熟的没事吧，对了，其实到底是说那么样呢？说那样的下来。那了，中国人的这叫空说，碰说这些只有呢，就我这些没些理解，看到些话也都没懂，也是 就是啥的空着啊，空着心中的那些下大给的讲吧嘛，下个说句说句叫容。上面写到有面呢，记得的了，上午把这些考些么，别说我的考些的别问过去了。开的你下面呢，大概看个，大概给看个我，考些轮顿多就话，这到是，这是以前那唐些那个轮顿别得了，到过西。这每个单位单位上面把人找到不平就留到下天堂的了你忙着，连接这些送我下天，别就把说大概没特别接你的朋友当年真是的，你到某把多把上这些都是现在的人别是3年，属下的人生些吧嘛，人生些吧嘛别那大概都年他是。他是没些体育真把这体这把是些老兵了的什么人，让他没了大把呀，大概3万点下班小就是不是把他就把的3天的学校的留节把我是，到底留的弄的东西是。那。了，这是个的，龙朋友就不是举把心的嘛，行了，龙，你可是怎么帮的嘛，举嘛就举下是吧？现在的龙的上那的，这个手举来，这娘子大把家呀的，这个行了就7把有时候了，我说龙没把的体没把7把的，龙的体也把行了，我的7把体有时候。
Great Bodhisattva Master Shantideva, and from then onward, this transmission has been passed down through lineage masters. So through this unbroken lineage, so we have received the blessing that started with the original author and up to now. So if we receive teaching based upon oral transmission unbroken, then as we put it into practice, it facilitates, the development of the qualities, the realizations in our mind. If you give a teaching which is devoid of oral transmission, something like that, it may take more time for us to be able to experience or generate realization based on that teaching. So that's the reason why. Because I thought it's important to ask Geshe to say that, right? Otherwise, it took a while, and maybe some new people are like, what is this? Just reading for so long. What do I get? I'm just kidding.
네, 다 조주 코로나 최모데 이제도 보고도니 그래서 잡대니 좀 쉬어 되게 네 대화데 조 개발식 잠편조로 와는데 대화데 롱다 치자야 말이 조주 코로나 그치 이좀 쉬자라 와 어시던 게디 저기서 롱도야 유진인데 인시.
The reason why I take time. Battery died. I didn't know that. So the reason why I always give this oral transmission of the Chunju Bodhisattva Char Avatar or Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life is because I have received from His Holiness the Dalai Lama this oral transmission a couple of times and attended the teaching. And of course, I'm using this commentary, and I have not received any the transmission on that. But on the root text itself, Shantideva's the guide, I have received many teachings, so this is why I want to pass it to you. Right? Yeah.
다들 그런 류니바들이 다들 고쪽 시간에 니바 류 제바 상대 류 흉동시 다 니바 류 제바시 제바 때라 제바 상대 류 쉐바니 류 흉시 흉고는 무시시 류생 죽수 조자르바 통벌 섬세 삼자에 거네 노르테 바시 애니 상대기 미디쇼 so Pawata, someday go Mango so Saji Song do. Some just that the Zulu Sunday she or did some job, but dread she, and they hear some job. Didn't daughter but dance, someday Midusho. Pawata, someday go back. Thing is to go Midusho, and Sunday Gunzi here, what did it? Saji done something on Joe.
So I would like to start up a little bit this chapter 8 on samadhi or concentration, something in Tibetan, and it's presented under 3 main outlines. The number 1 is called samjar. Samjar is literally means making connection. In other words, it's kind of coherence. In the preceding chapter, we talked about the perfection of joyfulness, right? And so now we also make a connection with that, and so that is one important point, making connection to the preceding perfection, and the second one is the need to get rid of all the impediments or unfavorable conditions of samadhi or concentration, and then the third one is how to cultivate concentration through meditation. So those are the 3 key points.
What is that? The Samja, Tambo Samjo, Dorte, but the Tamboni, Teza Zonduzam, Shuso, Des, Zonduzamni. Naki, but the Midusho Bonata, Nyambo Chebe, Gone, Jinso, Gave, Gala Troye, so Zondu Cheva, Penny. Penny, Gave Mibala, Chikaran Joju. Teba Shay Shedu, Rangi, Yin, Chishidu, Neve, Chachik Neves, Tenzin Nyaba Shaba Shenes, Shazo Nyambo, Miduba Gomba Sodan, Chaba Dahi Nyabatan, Jeve Shanju Sem Gomba Soji. Tabla tene, Sunday you go by Shago so she, Dharma was, Dharma te, Chishena, Tenzin las, Nyaba Shabar, Nyaba Mashaba Semni, Churu Nala, Naba Yuan Juvis, no Ju Mine, Minamne, Gala to Zunju so, Deya, you wala, de shot. Tang yidi mewa li sheda jawa so tabi nyomo be simbu marumba jinsen dukpa dan jawe si shewe cha de si soi par na newe si ti nyordu njomshi dunge jeba la se tsik mebar so tsik mebe so she nyabar jogabe gyuzen tendo teta na zondu so ma si paji nga ma ta jang si Sunday ji so do gondele se sombara teta zonju ma se paji ngaman ta jang se Sunday ji so do gondele sombara gobrim tambole shedos or that there someday going to be Judan Shewarta. Zonju Sam, Zonju Gonzo, Shine Mother, Zonju Samia, the Shine Sava, Zonju Samia, the Shinataganzo, Pekona draw the Namju draw the shower, Haji, top show to the shower, Haji. Shine toss on the bed that Chudu give up a subject, Halia Sataji. That Shine Mother goes 7 years, Shine, the Sour, the coffee, Karsa, Shida. Simple not to long to go to the Sato. There must called human here, they got never left tomorrow. She had a deal and it shook to Omara. She said, easy me. Someday go the simple you turn the big Neas Mashuna and take she there, go depend on Marva, depending on the deal of Sida. Color so in the meta name, yes, there meta young messy, young there meta there. Color creates a fanatic Shaya Yamara, called Mutiny in Maguva, the Metan, called muted 이 아래야 뭐 이제 바로 뭐때 지금 제가 니발레고도 어디 나신 있어.
The opening stanza reads, having developed enthusiasm in this way, I should place my mind in concentration, for the person whose mind is distracted dwells between the fangs of disturbing conceptions, unquote. And so as Krishna explained, now we need to understand the reason why cultivating concentration or samadhi, something is very important. Without concentration, we find it very hard to stay focused in our practice or whatever virtue we are focusing on. Our mind is just like a butter lamp that is exposed to the wind. The flame is flickering, it's not stable. It could be wiped out any time. So there's a big difference between pursuing virtue practice with calm abiding or shamatha and without calm abiding or shamatha. Without shamatha or calm abiding, when we try to do practice, we know our mind really doesn't sit in our practice or on the focus, isn't it? It's there for a little bit, then it gets distracted. So by doing that, we are really not able to, advance in our practice really successfully that much, isn't it? On the other hand, if we have calm abiding or shamatha, and now we can put our mind on any focus, it's going to sit on it very firmly. And even if you practice for 1 hour, the amount of merit and the benefit you have is just incredible as compared to trying to put our mind on a focus and then get distracted, then put it back, then get distracted for many hours. So this is why the perfection of concentration or samadhi or meditative absorption, stinging is very vital. So another example Keshe has given is just like that. Without samadhi, it's like you want to cook something. You start the fire, and then you switch off the flame. Then you start the fire. Then you cook a little bit. Then you switch the flame. If you keep on doing that, switch on and off, it'll take a long time to make your coffee. Well, you brew coffee, actually. Make tea and cook your lunch. So you have to keep the fire burning until the food is cooked well, isn't it? So we want to continue our practice continuously, right, until it yields results. So for that continuity or continuation, samadhi or concentration is very important. Without samadhi, engaging the practice is like switching on and off the fire to cook the food, right? Yes, it's doing something, but there's not much progress there. So this is why cultivating samadhi is very, very vital in our practice.
어디 희내서 저주던 지식으로서 가시 대리대 고명 선임하고 나니까 어디 바로 현에 희내 줘요 말아. 지식을 먼저 좁싱좁디잖아. 좁싱좁디서 그 내들 좁네 에네 그 멤버가 대리가로체 나샤샤 신도 상이지나 인디게 그 초라 그런 저는 좁싱 멤버에 들으셔 말아. 어디 있어 말아. 그 희내 곰디잖아. 인지 문제 유튜브 그 대리고 선임하고 드레시드 펜토야 말다 그 먼저 봐도 그 미국 뉴스는 공부야 어디 대 조심스럽게 빼서 샤도 어쨌든 진짜 공단을 드레스 다 등산이 신의 공부하고 그래서다 제가 성으로 있어서 다 기도 신의 공부 말할 때 등산 신의 공부 말해서 성도 한테 녹하고 그러니까
If we would like to cultivate calm, abiding, mental tranquility, shamatha, shine, then as we start that practice, until we really have it, we have to continuously pursue our practice. We cannot, do our practice for a while, and then we break up, and then we come back to it. In that way, we will never develop shamatha. It's just, impossible. The example given traditionally is like, if you have these two sticks, these are special sticks, you rub against each other, it's going to create a spark. But you have to keep rubbing it until the spark comes, right? You're not going to rub it, then stop or take a rest, and then you rub it. You will never have the spark. So like that, to have calm abiding shamatha, until you have it, you just have to stay the course. You have to pursue it. And that's the only way to cultivate shamatha. And I think the previous, his most eminent Song Rinpoche is believed to have said that he said, these days it's very hard to, find someone, accomplishing calm abiding, because you need to stay the course until you have it, And he said, yeah, I hear many of you said you want to do shamatha practice. I said, yeah, I'm really kind of like not so sure. Are you that serious? Until you have it, you will pursue it,
어디 신의 공부 중에 나 신의 코라다 쇼신바 해와나 소다 저 강가 튕제 강가 상버실 고모이나 인도 조르는 거리서 왔다.
If everything goes well as it is described in the authentic, Buddhist treatises, that you have all the favorable conditions, right, to be able to pursue and practice shamatha, and all the required external, internal favorable conditions, then you could achieve shamatha in 6 months. That's what authentic text says.
어디서 그러다 쇼니 해봐나 이서 그러다 튕제 강가 내다 된 좋아다 거기서도 배 금나 강가 배 딱딱 시위는 나 조르는 거리서 다 되면 이제 내가 생일도 맞아 건데는 로고나 팬도 말아.
So in the Buddhist literature text, it said that if you have everything going well as it is prescribed or required in the textbook, both external and internal favorable conditions, it is very possible to have calm abiding within 6 months. It's not that long. But that means we have to have everything exact as described, right? Say, the kind of environment that's described, which is favorable for developing calm abiding. And the kind of companions, you may require, right, as a supportive, right, companion. And the instruction how to cultivate calm abiding, all of those things, everything is exacting, then 6 months is enough to cultivate calm abiding. But if any of those conditions are missing, then we could do for a year or years, like we may not have it, So with that, we'll stop there and we'll continue this, and we would like to welcome your questions. Now you need the traveling mic back? Oh, you have. Yeah.
Regarding Lung, the oral transmission, Geshe said that it starts with the author, but he spoke in Sanskrit, and the Sanskrit version is different from the Tibetan a little bit. So that's a qualm I'm having. For example, the perfection of Tsondro, perfection of zeal, is in the Sanskrit version. It has 75 verses, but Tibetan has 76. Also, the very last, and I'm curious about that. The very last verse says that it ends with, in this way, through surrendering oneself to one's joy, one's supernormal powers will thrive. Yeah, and there's no mention of that. So, in fact, by this almost serves like a bridging section to the next, because supernormal powers, I understand, develop only through concentration. So, I mean, is this a problem? The fact that he spoke in Sanskrit,
right,
but now we're hearing it in Tibetan.
Quran condition that this would that again lungi pain sumburwage. Lungi pain sumburwa. Jedekala de lung dun de da thongma thangbo karsorda. Zabapone ma chunguyina rwage. Jimajana na zabapo that dirwa karsore. Geshe Shivala, so in a something that now song you was again. Long now the something that can now song you was. Tidikalia, that I don't loan the pigget again. I said that the loan the country chigo rest again. But one day, this something that song the Kiri Shamat Nango again. Chiwa Niba di Benada something that Pebek Uniburla that is Kebaring again. Dandanganzo Pebek Yurgi and the Tundi Lu Delia Sholka Tunji to the wagon. Something down on the Tunji Tunga Medusa wagon. I didn't understand the Shing Bed. I said, Conza Pigalia, that Kasayan, Chick to the Shambayus wagon. But Tundi 야, 뭐 중반 인바이나 안에 지 개발다 파고 누가 되게 남을 필요는 신고를 지르고 서로하게. 제대로 어디 거직 세세 나라 나서 서로하게. 롱디 동마디 삼지도나 송벌에다 벽에나 송거로하게. 아 롱중 간대 차그래. 당고 고속사대 삼지다에는 벽에 나래요 말하게.
제대 거다 거기 삼지에 사이드 디게일 시나다 벽에나 그 예지 샤라 송야디 거 세게 다가라 벽에라나자 삼지디게라나 이리게라나 더다데 책디 더다 찍으랑 해요. 대체요 말 벽에 롱주나 디거리 이게 롱주나 디거리 롱세야들이야 더다 고고 말 엄청 건디거라.
맞아. 이제 담아도 용당한테 지금 담아 어디 저도게 길이 샤바자는 고속으로 가게. 다 베베 슈디오 갈 당고 벽에 날래요 말 삼지다는 레요 가게. 근데 다디 벽에 날 롱나에도 차로 와. 제가 롱데 딱딱 대대거나게 롱주로 보지.
진짜 다 너무 겨울에 자가 빼는데 시 되는 로자도 쉬는 코스 롱데 쉬 개발대 쉬어 들 쉬는데 지금 막 유엔신 거기 벽을 모두 버디 유마저 용으로 되게
롱데 쉬어라 벽에 나무네 걸 롱주 대대거라 신마 쉬어서 거로게.
자 벽에 나데데 마시 이마다 가서디 줄사는 마시 요 말마.
So Gisela, what says is that in terms of oral transmission, right? Oral transmission means simply reading the text that started with. And you're right, in the beginning, Bodhisattva Master Shantideva probably gave it in the Sanskrit, right, in Tibetan. But the Tibetan master who received it, right, it's from him directly. And then when the Tibetan translated this thing, so I think they started to give in the Tibetan language. So he thought there is like some connection there. So now, let's say this is received in English, right? If you give in English, right, somebody, that should work in any language, right? That's what it thinks. Yeah. Any other? Yeah. Sure.
About last week, Geshe said that Paleo, conscientiousness,
yes.
Was he defined it as he explained actually because it's mentioned in one of the last verses there.
Ability to know what's happening, is that how I said it?
Yes, being aware of what's going on exactly.
Yes.
In our mind,
yes.
our behavior,
yes.
Of body and so on,
right.
at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, if this is the case, though, I remember that Paleo was described back in when Geshe explained this. Mm-hmm. In terms of, for example, there's a division in terms of 3 times. There is a consciousness with regard to the past, to the present, and the future. So it's not just present moment awareness. So that's one problem. The other one is that if it's just that, then it's a neutral factor. But we know that conscientiousness is a virtuous mental factor. Furthermore, one could be the opposite of consciousness is recklessness. So if consciousness is just observing and observing one's behavior, it could be observing reckless behavior, and then the 2 opposing mental factors would be coexistence. So it doesn't seem to me that's my qualm. How could that be? Just knowing what's going on.
천시 파괴 거리 숨버와게 파괴세 디 가르르스 긴 대신난도 강리야 다 단다 소소 가르치 되게 예배 있네로와게 디 소소게 다 지게 문 학고대셔로와게 디 랍도 강리야 프랑스도 가라 파괴디 슝은나를 제변에 파괴디 뒤숨가를 자야셔로와게 코나섬로와게 대베 tenle 파괴로와게 다다베 tenle 파괴 마음베 tenle 파괴로와게 딘데 시기도 딘데 예배 있는 파괴시대 단다로와 다다 가르치신 버지고 저래면 도와서로와게 다 대바다 마음발에 로와게 디 저바도와 스직라고 로와게 니바디 파괴시대 간리야 다다 갱송만 제베 임베이나 아니 디차로도 스케 가서 룽마데 로와게 룽마데 그래서 바위에 관해서는 개와 말을 왜 했어 그러게. 소소 나다 가르치기 위해면 소소 두스 사고 되게 위해나 개와에 개박에 요마로서 와게. 거기 그 나타나는 가르니게다 보라데 이제 라마스다게 칼라사기는 나타나 칼라사기 위해서 바위에 되어 와게. 거기 개와로 시게 요마로 와게. 어디 겐센은 디 데시션 말로게. 디 세세시난 거 말로.
데시오다 the Jidang same Maying Matersi, that was a Zohi, the Jidang, the Koa here, same Mayama. Review this or that, the mother of Sida, so you'll be 뉴모베 쇼 미겨 셈저도 거기 깨서는 랑사하고 도야 셈마잉 거제 자 배서 뇌자를 제 콘주제 그러게 추들증스가 다도자 서서 가르치고 하고 없이 이제 지는 방면에서 그러면
노선.
그 랑사 콘주제서 뇌자져서 이렇게 정도야 그 선바디가 잉 마잉바
노선.
내가 저러 어떻게 방면에서 그러다
안디 개월왜.
되게 어려워다
알아요. 심죠.
이거 소소 니모께는 항상 니모께서 하고도야다 지금 가르치는 일가 그가 하고도는 인랑도 지야 여러
네.
소소 가르치고 하면은 인랑도 지야 남자 지르 그러
배는 단다를 비시게 추통고에 삼로대 바요를 차거 말게.
아다
배는 배는 추통고에 왜 요즘에는 하고 막고 되는 말로 맞다. 추통고에 하고 그러게. 디 바요를 그러 말게.
추통고에
세 많이 받지 추통 하고 그러게. 추통고에 그러다 세 많이 그러게. 디 바요를 말게.
자 페이지를 다
디 바요 있는데 꼭 개와스게 말로 그러게.
되게 그 정도 왔을 얘기다 되게 그냥 다다 바요에서 바요에 가서 해야 되는데 개월 자는 시고로
알아요. 손.
지다 되는 잡아도 지금 가가
알아요. 손.
되대야 여기로
바요를 롱마된 요식으로 와.
바요에서는 다 바요 정도 뭐 바요에서 이제 말 바요도 여 것이 이제
다 바요에 등에 뒤숨을 자요 이렇게 대바다 마음 봐서 되는데 여러 말 바요에 닫아 받지 거기서
바요에서 아들 하고 다들 뒤숨갈 구다 가지 대바 돈아 삼나 구거리 마음 봐 삼나 구거리 가르치는 강가 그게 semai ba chemba chetoya sugoro
okay, this is how Geshe is now explaining it, that the Pagyo, which we translate as conscientiousness, carefulness, vigilance, is the same mind bar, which means undistracted mind, okay, same mind bar. And so it's not only undistracted, but it knows what's being aware of what's happening, right? And the way it is described in the Buddhist text is, as you said, it is defined in terms of a positive mental factor. It's not a, right, and it could be related to the, not just the present moment, to the past, right, recollecting, so that's how the Pagyo is described. But then I said, what about that? Let's say, because I said I'm undistracted. I'm drinking water, right? My mind is not distracted. I know I'm drinking water, right? Is that right, Pagyo or not? He said, well, that's technically not called Pagyo. That may be something similar to, right? But Buddhist, the Pagyo is the positive mental factor. So this just being aware of drinking water, undistracted mind, is not considered Pagyo.
Yeah. 대사칼 그게 생이 로조시야 되니 대서 카가 열수고
노선
생이 로조시도잖아 애들 십자시야니 배 따다지 책정도 갖고 아니 시고 그러
네
나는 시도잖아 애네 책정도 갖고 뭐 고아코 로조시야지 그 대가 로고시 시고디 시선 로조죠
노선
대마다 실 나는데 가가 시야 소다 대 제바도 뭐 이제 해야되는 코페모도 시 내기로 rakparo shesa ne ko semli sha dioro pero cuando tije simji se ende zozo tamdu re se atermo tele simjung semzozo ke ja hiwndo no mi tse ka de jide ya tele semzozo go ya de nyora mo ya no de se ta 전주 통도 되어 다 전주 sim이래 삼라도 ko toda digdi goro no de
So Geshe would like to give this example of how there is a difference in the way we usually teach Lamrim kind of teaching, which is more like public discourse. And the focus and the objective of such teaching is to provide, certain kind of understanding of different ideas or concepts, but not necessarily being very exacting and accurate in specificity. Where in the monastic, on the debate, they have to be very exacting. They have to remove every other possible, right? How should I say, the issues there. So it has to be exacting because you're debating it, right? You hold the mod. But if we do that kind of thing in the Lamrim teaching, then instead of being helpful, we're analyzing too much detail-oriented, then it might be detrimental rather than create a good understanding, right, of a concept. We just destroy the whole thing, The example Geshe was given is like when we do public teaching, we say, hey, Bodhisattva, Changju said, what is it? What is your wish to become a Buddha for everybody else? And that is good understanding, isn't it? But we never go like as we do in the debate system. Bodhicitta is a primary state of mind, and that's accompanied by the two aspirations, and like all of that, right? Because that's people are like, what? What's that? Now it's primary. What is two aspiration? What is like mental factor? So it's more complicating. But if somebody thinks that, okay, I want to be Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings, you already understood what bodhicitta means. So that's good enough, right? We are not going to go into the minutiae, specificity, and details there, right? So that's the kind of difference he wanted to share. Any other questions we have? Or behind the glass wall?
So, in that case,
Yeah, sure.
not to belabor the point, but so I took the liberty of looking at some definitions, and for example, the Compendium of Knowledge of Palyo.
What?
The
Yes.
Compendium of Knowledge,
Uh-huh.
Sanga's compendium. It describes, they translate it as heedfulness. Heedfulness, that's even better. Heedfulness. Heedfulness.
The compendium of knowledge is what?
It's translated as heed. Palyo is translated as heedfulness.
Oh, I see. Yeah, heedfulness. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
conscious or
Yes.
heedfulness. So it defines as a mental factor ascribed to a mind that lacks the three poisons and possesses diligence. This is really not that complicated.
Yeah.
So again, it's ascribed. So it's my question is, but again, I'm sliding here in scholasticism, and like Geshe says, maybe that's not very helpful. But why does it mean that being ascribed? Does it mean that it's not a real? It's an imputed mental factor. It's ascribed to a mind that lacks three poisons: non-hatred, non-attachment, and non-ignorance. Right?
Yes, Palyo.
Yes.
Like ascribe. Okay.
Ascribe. So when I have a mind which is diligent and free of these three poisons, and guards the mind from engaging in these three poisons, this is what is Palyo.
Right. So you think it's imputed rather than real. So.
Yes.
Alors, quand on dit que dans un jeu, puis que shung so or that din ali Palyo que tinyi sha roage. And car so or dans un na tuksum da mande be chik sha yung do wage. This schedule kan ya any the case of get Quran said that 大月的是为什么个？大月去什么个？大月有个？我呢买一把车，大小就是话，same 点的车的个是多那个？牛毛送到买的把车，俺说开的车个把它好的个就是我点了八月那个月是了个，这就个大月个车了去。
大月是呢，他可是这是个的，我说这个旁边人家是的呢。 소소 야가 시에 누구 저 배는 대화 라면 저 세모 저 요는 저 찍어서 짜는 마저 거저 마저 또저 잡지 시들 방매시고 말해.
그래,
시그라. 그 코드 찍어야 돼. 그 사모는 야말 그러다가 가게 하고 그러나 그래 전화 뒤셔야 될 것이지. 근데 사모 나게도 야말와. 그래서 방매서야 돼. 소소 양에도 가르치기 너 대셔야 그 샘데 마인 맞대보데 가도 그 소바나시 지금 동호선 남사 저터가 되지 심 때보시고 그러 되세요.
알지 저때 양디 겐디 시신도 못 잡을 수도 게.
시신 말다. 그 심데 때보면 시신 랩도 말다.
알레노.
제가 보면 시신 와 그래서.
알레노.
어디래?
다 따위에 세대 돈다들리게 말로 된다.
따위에. 따위에 센다.
the same that the same dish get the Geshe Wage. The same chili a power rest lover wage. Dilly young on the Jictario that they that didn't get a Geshe Yomar.
That 10 years and that the years and I shake darling Marite. She unconscious the Shiva the you be chasing your.
The don't wish when didn't show quite a cigar when it is.
The be chasing. The Tanda call that Simjung that conjure Simjosum Mari. Simjung.
So Geshe say, yeah, the kind of question asking that might depend on schools of thought, right? Prasangika Madhavika would say it's imputed everything, right? Some other schools might say that it's a substantially existent, right, thing. But to be able to understand the Pagye, if you look at its opposite side, maybe it gives a bit, right? Which usually in Tibetan called carelessness, right? I don't care, right? If somebody says, wow, this is such a holy, important person, I don't care. I'll do whatever, right? That kind of feeling, yeah. Okay. Any other? All right, if not, I have tons of announcements and re-announcement and prayer. I'll do that again. Seta shuka kashi chuba again. Tense tan dine di sende roaken sende Danny Jenkins is to roage. Delhi jamju naronaske. So first announcement starting Monday, June 3rd. So our Gaden Shartse school building project tour, right? This is the tour 2, and their objective is, my understanding that they already got the permission from the concerned Indian authority to build a recognizable or certifiable school. So that has a lot of requirements. You have to establish infrastructure, everything. So this is why they came here to raise the fund to be able to build that school, so that then they can also go for what in America we call accreditation. Okay? We call it recognition in India. Okay? And so they are starting a mandala creation here. It's going to be Guya Samaja Mandala. Okay? And so they will start on Monday doing that, and to Monday to Saturday. And they will start morning 10 to 11. And if anybody wants to come here in person, you're welcome. Or they will do the live cast through Facebook. And then from 7:30 to 8:30 in the evening, again, the door is open. You can welcome, or they will do the Facebook live cast. So from Monday to Saturday, that's the schedule. Morning 10 to 11, evening 7:30 to 8:30. Either you're welcome in person, or you can watch them create the Guya Samaja through social media. Okay. And of course, so by saying that, because they came on such a big project, I know our Venerable Geshe Lama Phuntsok, we all know, right? So he's not a shy person. Otherwise, I have to speak more than him. And so any pennies and dollars would be helpful, right? So that's what I'm going to say. Including this big mouth, I'd like to donate some pennies too. Yeah. So that's important there. June 9, next Sunday, as I said, we will not have the regular teaching, but they will also do the blessing and consecration of the holy objects, right? Which means statues and the malas and the images and all of that. And if you would like to bring yours to be blessed, that's what they would like. But then also, they will, it starts at 10:30 as usual. They will also do the dissolution of Guya Samaja Mandala. So next Sunday, 2 things happening: blessing and consecration of religious objects, and the dissolution of Guya Samaja Mandala. So it starts at 10:30, and so you're welcome, right, as you do that. Then June 16, Sunday, we will not have regular teaching, but at 2, we have the Vajrayogini self-empowerment, right? Those who have received Vajrayogini empowerment blessing and have done the standard retreat, and then, of course, you could participate in this self-empowerment, and you're welcome to do that. So Vajrayogini will be not broadcast, I believe, that's my feeling, but others are, right, broadcasting. Then I have a prayer request for a deceased person. Danny Jenkins passed away, and prayer is requested, and we can think of others we know of. Okay, so let's do Avalokiteshvara prayer and mantra. Chadong go lun ju ben ye wo dong jian dong ge wa sang bu sang ye dong kang la kang de de la de de zhen bo jian re zi la cha zi lo om mani ben me om mani ben me om mani ben me om mani ben me. Omanim bime hori gawa diye nyodo da jere sewan rubju lowa jiya maleva diye sala gwebar sho. Page 3. Lord Jazu Udon Deva de Gyazam Pungwe Chido Minba Shin Tenba Zinla Wando Giche Tangnian Shogun Jola Sowa de page 5. Ma Wan Dame Gunjian Donga de Kangrin Jungso Ninda Senza Jamgun Jawa Niwa Yapse Jin Tangson Dinzi Mabe Shiba Tenzin Dorjee Yinwon Zebe Jin Xie Nibun Changju Tendu Longdo Tangzhe Bebe Beiyun Jin Duja Gyatsu Wendo Shabden Shije Zombe Ze Yongzo Yure Tube Nyabe Xin Longri Deje Nebu Benden Tuden Kangri Dabo Shabden Shon Dona Kongmen Zeba Namda Yandang Robe Pende Jube Xin Lundu Jumin Chebe Chile GSTDL Dendo Shabden Sho Jizu Lame Tuje Melamda GSTDL Dendam Zangme Chozon Dodo Jidon Domba Jeda Memben Dungu Lundu Sho page 9. Ramjan Jinge Gombo Tseba Me Zodo Namje Kinyun Jemba Chozo Zeye Lazo Tamje Je Daden Mishi Shogi Muju Tuden Jedang Losan Gyawayi Shiro Tenban Zembe Peyun Tade Deja Yonge Shinyin Sho Yangzhe Ninje Hong Jiden Sumguen Chana Pemen Du Denben Zawa Soso Tawa Namda Sujin Yangda Langba Ye Losan Jenden Pedo Shabden Tujon Gyaltsen Nunzin Yangbe Shi Samjo Namje Tangzin Junbe Gomjon Shila Songjo Debu Den Denbe Ngada Chenbo Shabden Shebe Dongma Kowa Bojo Zunbe Rilan Siyu Bomja Zunbe Dunden Leshe Zhangzha Ju Keru Xinyin Chenbo Shabden Kebe Langdo Gushe Zeda Je Zunbe Chara Nizo Rangsa Sangbe Deja Regon Yishe Nung Sumden Xinyin Chenbo Tezang Rolan Zabe Dende Je Minjo Tajue Zangme Sijin Labjin Zedin Dendu Peshawa Tuden Xinyin Chenbo Shabden Chozon Gyawa Seje Qinla Da Tuden Damjin Songmen Chinle Daja Lasan Dabe Denbe Shida Membe Dungu Lundu Sho Changju Simjo Rinpo Je Maje Bana Ji Gewa Nyamba Meba Ya Kone Kwan Dewa Sho Tongni Dawa Rinpo Je Maje Bana Jeju Je Jewa Kone Kwando Bewa Sho Sa Shi Bejin Joshi Medo Zhang Rira Lingxi Nyinde Yenba Sanje Shindo Mede Wewa Luwen Nanda Shinla Jeba Sho Kanri Rabe Korwe Shingam Pendan Dewa Malu Jungwe Jenre Zewa Tenzin Gyaltsen Shabe Siden Bado Tenjo Je Idan Guru Rana Manden Niyanda Yamin Gyawa Kundo Yangda Lama Da Deme Cheyen Bela Longje Sada Lamje Yenden Razo Nen Doje Shange Gomba Nyu Do